can force your luck. If you always say it's luck, it's luck, it's luck, we planned to do so. And when the execution is there, and that's not easy to do, I know that also. But if you sit back and you don't have a plan to see how the game can develop on forehand, then you get your ball in. However, then it's luck. But when there's a plan, and then I can be very proud of the guys that they executed. We practiced on this, and then it's so nice to see that you push the luck.
Has he been drinking too much, Roy?
No, look, I think what Hus is saying...
Yeah, just give us a translation, will you, bro?
...is that if you're going to rely on luck...
Yes.
...it's not going to work for you.
No.
You've got to rely on what you've practiced.
Yes.
You know, so that move with Harry, for example, one imagines had he practiced that a little more, Harry was relying on luck. You know what I mean? Johnny on the spot style. Well, that's not good enough for Hus. And I agree with him 100%. You know, it's no wonder that players, you know, the turnaround that's happened in Australian football, listening to Hus, I could listen to the bloke all day. You just learn so much, you know. So often when I've played, I've thought, oh, gee, I feel lucky today, or I don't feel lucky today. Wrong!
Yeah.
Wrong! Totally wrong! You've got to work on your technique, on your shape, keep your poise. This is what Hus is getting at.
Well, planning is so important.
Planning!
Planning. And we move forward to Croatia with a plan in our mind and hope in our heart. Bugger that, no hope in our heart, planning in our heart as well. Having said that, Roy, I nicked this from, while you were in talking to Hughes, I nicked this game plan for Australia v Croatia. As you can see, Australia v Croatia up there. You can see Hughes hitting signature there, on that side there.
For sure.
And there's the date there, today's date. This is their plan. And notice up to here, one for Johnny Warren. That's right, one for Johnny Warren.
Would that be the former Australian great, Johnny Warren?
It is. And you can see they're going to put this into practice first half in the 18th, the 24th or the 39th minute. In the second half, it goes into practice in the 78th, 83rd or the 92nd minute. They've planned this to happen in injury time. You can see the setup here. It's a conventional, fairly conventional 2 up the front, a whole lot of blokes in the middle and 2 at the back. So we get the ball from Schwarzer here. It goes...
sorry, wrong end of the field. Sorry, matey. That looks like Schwarzer up that end.
It goes up to Grills up there.
Asleep is normal.
Asleep is normal. He bounces off his head. An unlucky shot from the Croatians hit his head. It goes up to Grills there. Grills passes it back over here, I think, to Chips. Chips gets it on to Kalina in the middle, then it comes up to Emo there, then it goes back to Chips, then it comes over to Neil over this side, comes up to Wilkshire there, up to, I think that's Marco Bresciano there, then it goes back to Emo, who kicks it on to Skoko, double move, he moves there, the ball goes back there, then it's back, down in the back line over to Grills, back up here to Wilkes on a long ball over the top, fooling the Croatian defence, then it back into the middle here, up to Marco, and before that, this is after 17 moves. We've retained possession. It comes for the first time to Harry. Harry goes back to Wilkshire. Wilkshire back to Emo. Then up to Skoko. Back into Marco. Then the tempo rises. It really rises. And I can't call it. It just goes like this, all over the park like this. And then it's up to Vic Dukes. And Dukes steps in the back of the goal, taking the keeper out. That's how we're going to beat Croatia. Fact.
Wow.
And that's one for Johnny Warren. And don't tell me.
Fantastic.
It's so
that move, I've seen that before.
Oh, no, that's what they practice.
Yes.
That's what they practice.
Yeah, I remember Adi Abonyi being fed in similar fashion many, many years ago. It could work then. Well, it did work then. It could work against Croatia.
It's incredible, and I can't wait to see that. Remember those...
Schleiflugs.
Oh, there is.
About that, isn't there?
Well, he gave it to Argentina. We saw it with Argentina only a couple of days ago.
We did. That was pure Schleiflug.
Look, described as the goal of the competition, but if they can pull it off, and I think they can pull it off, especially in the 92nd minute, because that's an injury time right there. If they pull that off, it'll be a fantastic goal. Very, very memorable. Can I just say about the other match, though? Remember I revealed the Cup of Chaos?
Yes.
We had the 7 players up front surrounding the goal. Well, they tried that. As the match wore on, the Australians tried to put in the Cup of Chaos and create the zone of quag, but they couldn't quite pull it off.
Well, it was finishing skills.
Finishing skills, that's absolutely right. They just didn't have the numbers up there, Roy, at that particular point.
I agree with that.
Roy, but we've been blessed during the last couple of days, and I want to take us back to the Saudi Arabia v Tunisia match, where we saw the first of the hitting hot shots go round. We saw the great Australian referee Mark Shield.
Oh, can't he blow?
He can blow.
Can't he blow?
He went out there with blowing in his heart and blowing in his head.
He was blowing for Australia.
He was blowing for Australia. And two blokes he picked up just partying a couple of hours beforehand, turned them out in the shorts and gave them the flags. And have a look at the result here. Here's some fantastic hitting hot shots from the cup of Dribble. And here they are here.
Look at the Aussies.
Exchange. Look at the Australians
Look at
there
the three
in
Aussies
the green.
there. They look good.
They look professional.
Proud. Well, 4 Aussies when you look at it.
And look at that. Brilliant lighting.
Look at that.
And have a look at Mark Shield in the middle.
Yeah.
Look at the gesturing. First class.
Now, he's
world
calling
class.
someone out here, actually. He's calling someone out. He's ready to riot act, Aussie style.
Yes.
No more beer for you.
Yeah, that's right. That was just fantastic to see that. And I just hope they get the cup.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be great? Australians officiating, German v Australia.
Wouldn't that be fantastic? Wouldn't that be fantastic? I'm so proud of those blokes. You know, they're unheralded. They get very little publicity. I would have thought AOs would have been going their way.
Yes.
You know, some sort of military honour, perhaps.
Did they appear in that show last night that appeared with Eddie and Sam?
No, they didn't.
Because I thought that would have been a fitting thing.
No,
you know, how you're blowing.
They would have been the first people I would have called on. Ladies and gentlemen, our refereeing heroes.
Yes, that's right. On your mark! Put in, Mark!
Show us how you blow, Mark.
Fantastic. Now, Roy, another popular part of Dribble at many World Cups that we've covered for the Big Pond organisation, there's always a lot of interest in Logie winners. These are people who do a little bit who do a little bit extra banging it on when they get touched up. And our first, in 2006, our first Logie winner, Robin, here they are now, the Dutch.
Oh, the
Have
Dutch,
a look at this. Here he goes through a gap.
Now, he was yellow carded for that, and fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Look at the dive. It's pure dive. Pure Robin.
Yeah, he does
Pure Robin.
Week in, week out.
Here we go.
He gets
Is he
sandwiched in
touched?
here.
No. Takes a big dive. Thank you very much. Yellow card. Off you shoot.
Well, I would have given him red and sent him right off for a pathetic performance.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have got a Logie in Australia nor an Oscar in America.
Look at this. I mean, he goes on with it, doesn't he,
know.
Robin? I hate that sort of work.
And then the second Logie winner is a terrific performance by a Ghanaian who obviously
busted his ass.
busted his ass. He refuses to have the stretcher, but he's in Coosbane and he has to be led off by the trainer there in an unsightly sort
Well, he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where to go.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
Let's have a look at it. Here it comes.
Boom, bang,
Boom.
busted.
And has he shoved a party pack of ice down there to try and take the pain out of it, Roy?
Yes.
Can that work, or would you rather a sugar bag full of hot sand in that situation?
Look, I think it's best if you leave it alone, just give it a little bit of a rub.
Right.
I mean, that's what we did in the old days when you it's to go anti-wallopator.
Yes.
That Maximus Glutemus.
Yes.
Whatever you want to call it. Let's just call it bum.
Let's not shy away from calling
Bruised
a bum. Bruised bum. Well,
if anything, a little bit of pork.
A pork? Yes, can help take the blackness out of it. Look, can I just say, obviously it's easy to laugh at people, but they are highly strung. I mean, there's a lot of people here enjoying themselves, obviously getting on the terps and all that sort of stuff, and commentators and media people and banging that drum. The drums will send you mad here.
Yeah, and the bells.
The bell, that'll send you mad as well. But some people are here to play football. They're highly strung. They've got a lot on their mind, and it's easy for them to jag an injury, which buggers their composure, to put it bluntly. So I think it's too easy to laugh.
Yeah, it is.
And when you have a look at this next bit of footage, you'll see what I mean. A lot of people are saying, what's happened to All Night Dwight, the great FC? Yes. Here he is here wrestling with a problem that all of us blokes have. When we play football, because it is an exciting game.
It is, H. It is. But I think this sort of thing is probably best left to the privacy of the bedroom. To do this in public.